Hey guys, today we're working with VirtualBox, so we're going to go ahead and go to virtualbox.org and we're going to go to the download section and then click on Windows Host to download the Windows version. I'm going to get that downloaded and installed, and then today we're going to be installing Ubuntu Server as a virtual machine onto our computer. So we're going to need the Ubuntu Server 20.0.41, which is the latest version out right now, so this is downloading. So we're going to wait for these to download. And then we're going to go ahead and get VirtualBox installed since it's already done. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and wait for this to get done downloading, and then we'll continue on to the next step. But in the meantime, go ahead and get VirtualBox installed. Alright, we have VirtualBox installed now. We already have a VM running Windows 10 that we were just using for testing, so that's why we have that there. We have the Ubuntu ISO here on the desktop. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and create a new VM now. So click on New. And so your path might be something different, but ours is going to be onto a second hard drive that we have on our computer. So that's why I'm changing the path here. But yours might be just regular on the C drive. As long as you have enough storage on your C drive, you might want to check that. And we're going to go ahead and put in Ubuntu test. And you can see as soon as we typed in Ubuntu, it already picked it up that it is going to be a Linux distro. And our distro is going to be Ubuntu 64. Hit next. We're going to give our VM 4 gigs. But like I said, you need to make sure you have enough memory on your computer. I have 16 gigs on here, so I can definitely give this 4 gigs because my system's still going to have 12 gigs then at the end of the day. So we hit create, and then now we're going to create a new virtual disk where it's going to create it in that folder. The VDI is fine. VMDK is you can use it like in VMware and things like that. VHD is a virtual hard disk that you can actually mount later at a later point onto the like a Windows computer. But VDI is fine. We're just gonna leave it like that. Hit next. Dynamically is set fine because basically, if you send in 100 gigs, it's not going to use 100 gigs. It's going to just use whatever it's using. So if it's using 20 gigs, it's going to only use 20. The fixed size will give it the whole 100 gigs right away and will not shrink it. So dynamic is fine for the default for this. And then you can see it's going to create within that folder that we set earlier. That's fine. And we're actually going to give our server 20 gigs. But you can set whatever you need. Alright, then we hit create. Now, before we power this on, we need to tell VirtualBox where to grab this ISO. So we're going to click on here, go to settings, and then we're going to go to storage, and you can see our control IDE is empty. So we're going to mount an ISO to it. So we're going to choose a disk file, browse to our desktop, double click on that Ubuntu, and then hit OK. And then we can go ahead and hit start now. And you can click here to change the startup disk, and we're going to change that to the Ubuntu, and click start. And it should boot up right to the installation for Ubuntu here now. There you have it. Now we're going to be booting up here, and we're going to run the installation. It's just checking the ISO to make sure there's no errors. Just let this run through. Alright, now we're here at the installation. So we're going to hit English. And here you can change your adapters. Mine are perfectly fine where they're at, so if you need to change it, go ahead and modify it. But I'm not going to change that. I'm going to use the entire disk. Hit done. And it's going to create all those partitions. That's fine. Ubuntu VM. Go ahead and set. Oh, yeah, we need to set a different. Just do admin USR. And then hit done. And then we do want to install OpenSSH. That's so we can actually SSH into our machine. So we hit done on that. And this is anything else that we want to pre-install. We're not going to know what this server is going to be yet. Like I said, this is just a test VM. But if you need something, then go ahead and simply hit space to check it. But we don't need any of this. We just need SSH, because then we can SSH into it and install anything else that we might need. And then hit done. So now it's going to run the installation. So let's just give it some time here. I'm going to go ahead and pause it and continue once it's all done. Alright, we are all done, so we're going to go ahead and hit the reboot. And then we're going to unmount that drive here. So we need to go to settings and then go to storage. And it looks like it already dismounted that drive, so that's fine. Sometimes it doesn't always do that. So let's go ahead and hit enter, because we don't want it to boot up to the drive anymore. We want it to actually boot from the hard disk. And it should be booting up here in just a minute. Alright, and it's loading up here. So once you see that welcome, you know you're pretty good at this point. And now you've successfully installed Ubuntu. So once this loads up, we're going to go ahead and log in to make sure we can log in. And then we should be all set. Alright, once you get to this page, we're going to log in with that user we created. And then type in our password. Just running it's letting us know that we have some updates that we need to do. Alright, it's going to run a couple commands. So let's go ahead and do sudo apt-get upgrade, because we have some pending updates to do. So you always want to make sure you do any pending updates, just so your box always stays with the latest version of security patches and patches for the actual OS. So it's like doing a Windows update on your Windows machine. So just make sure you always keep your Ubuntu server and any really Linux distro updated by running that simple command. At least on Ubuntu, that's the command for the update. It might be different between CentOS and any other Linux distro. But that concludes this, you guys. So this is how you can install Ubuntu using VirtualBox on your Windows machine, so you can have a Linux environment or just use it as a testing machine, and also how to update it. Thanks, you guys. See you in the next video.